Hey, what's going on, guys? Zephron 1000 here, and sorry about the shadow in the background. That's me. Just casting off the light. Anyway, uh, this is going to be a little bit different. I know this is primarily a gaming channel, but I do like card games as well. And the new set, the Moonlit Savior, just came out. This is a card game called Force of Will. So for those of you who don't know, um, it is just a card game similar to Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Blah blah whatever. So if this is not for you, you don't have to bother to watch it. But I ended up making a deck for the new set that came out with one of the rulers, and I'm just sharing it for anyone who does play the game who is interested in a cool build that I have made and I like. So we'll start things off with the ruler. It is a Songstress of Shangri-La. Um, and that's what she looks like. She's a really nice card. Um, and she's a cost 3 for Judgment to J-activate her. And her ability is you may look at the top card of your main deck at any time. Pretty simple ability, but it's really, really nice. Because it synergizes with the deck. By the way, I named the deck Shion Symphony. I felt like it fit, seeing as though what she is and everything like that. And she is a songstress, and I just kind of felt like everything kind of harmonized in the deck. So, so that's that. This is her GA ruler side. She's a 900 1000, and when you flip her, she has the same ability as her ruler side, but also when you play her, she allows you to take the top card of your deck, flip it. If it's a Resonator, you play it for free. I believe if it's a cost 5 or less, yes, cost 5 or less, you can just play it absolutely for free. So that is amazing. And her God's Art is pretty much like a Sylvia effect. So um, you play her, you do her God's Art, she gets +5/5, and then she burns a creature, a J/Resonator for that attack, which is 1400. And I guess if you pump her up with something else, you can make it more damage, and it's really nice for taking out big J rollers that pop out. And she looks really nice, and it's full art as well. So that's her. So we'll put her to the side. Okay, we'll move on to the next. To our stone lineup, we run 2 Waterstones, just basic Waterstones. We run 4 Hymn's Memoria. Excuse me for a second. Thought I was missing my. Sorry about that. I don't know, the cat was in the window and she started going haywire. So 4 Hymn's Memoria. So pretty much this card says when you play it, you look at the top card of your deck. If you name, well, you bring it out of your stone, right? You tap for your will, and this pops up. If you can name the card on the top of your deck, if it's that name, if it's the card that you named, you draw it, and you get to put it into your hand. Seeing as though Shion lets you, know every card that you can play that's on the top of your deck, you can play it. You can take advantage of this, and it's like free draw and everything else. So it's really, really nice. And this is a blue dark build, so we run 4 Magic Stone of Dark Depths for our darkness. So that's our stone lineup. And we don't run that many dark sources in this deck too, so but for Resonators, we'll start with blue. We run 3 Cheshire Cats. I guess you can run 4 if you really want to. Honestly, she doesn't pop up as much as I would like her to, so maybe running her at 4 is a good idea. But running her at 3 is fine too. I see her enough. I'll say that she pops up enough, but I'd probably like to see her just a little bit more. But that's a nice Cheshire Cat. So that's that. I run 4 Thumbelina. Let me just move this off to the side. 4 Thumbelina. If you don't know what Thumbelina does, she's a nice 1-drop water. She's a 0/6, but she's a fairy tale. You can tap her and you put a support counter on it. For every counter on there, you can tap her, and for every counter, you can give target Resonator plus 2/2 for every counter on there. You must use all the counters, but she's very nice. I like the art. She's a little cutesy little thing. And there's the ability. Sorry, the camera kind of, webcam kind of like unfocuses on. So yeah, 4 Thumbelinas. 3 Muse. Muse works as a Gareth, but for all of your creatures. So as long as she's out in the field, Resonators, if you deal damage to a Resonator, you have to deal damage that's equal to his defense or more, or it's prevented. That's pretty much what this card does. When this card enters the field, you name a card type, reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's that named card, you can put it into your hand. So she's another draw engine. And, you know, I actually sometimes forgot about that first ability, which is pretty bad. 2 Peasant Revolts. Pretty much, he's a great 2-drop. Yeah, he's a 5/5 2-drop. He's no Lancelot, but he's nice. He's a 5/5, and his ability says when you play him, if you have a 1-drop creature in your hand, you play that for free. So really good card. 2 is fine. Yeah, I see him enough, and I'm okay with running 2. 4 Drill Sergeants. This card is ridiculous in this deck. It really is. So pretty much he says when he comes out to the field and you decide to swing in and attack. So let's say you're going to swing in and you're going to attack. You take a look at the top card. You reveal the top card on your main deck. If it's a Resonator, this card boosts all your Resonators on your field attack and defense by 3/3 until the end of the turn. That is insane. So essentially, when he's attacking, he's swinging in 4,000, and he's a 3-drop. This is a nice 3-drop card. I mean, what more do you want? He's a 3-drop 7/7 right off the bat. Usually, 3-drops are like an awkward kind of cost, but he's a 3-drop, and when he's attacking, he's swinging in 4,000. So now the only bad thing is about him is, if you swing in with him and you don't have a Resonator at the top of your deck, he goes back to your hand, and you don't get any effect. But with this deck that allows you to see the top card of your deck, you should be able to swing in every time. And pretty much because you have plenty of cards to filter, plenty of draw engines. So 3 Humpty Dumpties. Yes, I have a proxy. I need to get another one. Humpty Dumpty is probably a no-brainer. If you know what Humpty Dumpty does and you've seen Shion, you knew you were playing this. If you don't know, pretty much he says, okay, you play Humpty Dumpty, you pay 1 to banish this card, take the card off the top of your deck. If it's a Resonator, you play it. No, it doesn't say if it's a 4 or lower, you play it. If it's a Resonator, you play it, period. And you put it into your field. Otherwise, you put it into your graveyard. So, Humpty Dumpty, no-brainer. And he's a nice... he's a nice 3-drop. He's an 8/8. So, but you can use him to get some of your better creatures out. Which it brings us to one of our MVPs of the deck. No brainer, Valentina. Do I even need to? She's Little Dread on crack, essentially. She's Change of Heart from Yu-Gi-Oh! In monster form. She has huge boobs. Everything is awesome in this card. She's a 3-drop 8/8. When she says when she enters, she steals your card. Okay, and she keeps that card stolen until she dies. It's because the reading on the card says when this card enters the field, gain control of target Resonator your opponent controls as long as this card is in a field. So even if they did something like, for example, like this is what it sounds like to me. If someone plays the Primogenitor and they take this card out of your deck and they play it, and they steal the Valentina that you have that's controlling their monster, your Valentina that was yours is still in a field. It's just in their field. So I don't think they get their monster back. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but by the cards, by how the card is written, that's what it seems like to me. So, and yeah, Primogenitor, whatever. I put that on top of the wrong deck. There we go. So yeah, great card. Steal helps speed the deck up, and it just, you get creatures on board so fast with her. So there's that. 2 purple Mist the Fantasy Dragon. Some people might disagree with this. I'll tell you why I have it in there. It has flying, for one. I can get this out with Humpty Dumpty or Shion or anything else that I have that allows me to, flip and play. It's flying. A lot of decks have trouble with flying. I can get this out easy. I would even play this at 3 if I could find something that, I would take out. I would play it at 3. But, it has flying. It's a 1,000, 1,000, and it can't be affected by spells or abilities. So they're kind of stuck with trying to damage this thing and get it off the board. But when this thing's out, they got flying. Thumbelina's building up counters. He becomes a big problem when he's out on the board. And I never have a problem summoning him. I've never had to hard cast this card. He's always came up when he needed to, and I can filter to the deck to get him, which you'll see. This one may be a little bit weird to people, but 2 Nostradamus. Dark Resonator. It's a 3-drop 4/4 attack. I know. But she allows you, when she comes out into the field, she allows you to search your deck and place any card at the top. So you search your deck, you pick a card, you shuffle your deck, you put that card on top. That sets you up perfectly for Humpty Dumpty. If you have the will up and you can do it, that sets you up perfectly for Humpty Dumpty. And I've never had a point where she was not useful, especially in the longer games. She just helps me get, what I need. Just in case, I don't have the Shion, where I've already activated the Shion and I already did, her ability, or, and all I have is Humpty Dumpty and I need to get that card on top and I have the will, yeah. And plus you have your drill sergeant, so you can pump her up and then swing, in with it. So, and, it's okay for what it does. I run it at 2. 1 Shion time, or him, whatever. So this allows me to put any target Resonator to the top of their deck, and then I get to draw a card from the top of mine. If it's a 2 Resonator, if the Resonator is a 2-drop or less, I can play it. And then you pay 2 less for God's Art. This card's not amazing. I mean, yeah, I can get a Resonator off the field and make them put it at the top of the deck. I'd much rather destroy it, but blue seems to have more cards about just bouncing them off the field to like hand or deck. Yeah, you get to pay 2 less for God's Art, which makes it free. That's great and all. You know, it's situational. Depends on when you can play it. I even in any other version of a deck, even if it's not this version, I would still only run this at 1. I wouldn't pay 3 just to bounce a creature. There's cards that are less costly that can do that if that's all you want. And I mean, and then just get a 2-drop. I mean, I can just do the 2-drop. I mean, you know, I'm going to pay 3 for a 2-drop and a bounce. It's good for what it's worth. It's nice when it works and it comes up later game, but you only need 1. You don't need any more than that. 2, Shangri-La, Paradise Ocean. This card's not. I don't think it's a necessity. I think I could take these 2 cards out and put something in, and it would still run perfectly fine. Yeah, it gives me a nice little 100 boost. And then if I have 5 cards in my hand, that's another 100 boost. So it goes up to 200 top. So if both are out, that's a 400 plus little thing. That's nice and all. You know, it's mainly in for that whole Shangri-La theme kind of thing. But it's okay. You know, I'll more than likely take this out for something else, but it hasn't done me wrong. So 3, Space-Time Anomalies. This card is awesome. That's it. This card's awesome. It's pretty much like Thunder and Rapid Growth had a baby and the elements changed. I mean, it deals 500 to something until the end of the turn. You get to draw a card, and it's Remnant, so you can play it in the graveyard by removing it from play. So if you have 2, you can essentially play it 4 times. But we run 3. You know, that's our kind of spot removal card that we have in here. And since it's Remnant, it more than makes up for it just by having 3, because essentially it's 6. On to the Regalias. 4 Hydromonicas. Heavenly Instrument Hydromonica. This is one of the keystones of the deck here. This is what helps the deck run really well. So pretty much this card says tap it. You can take the top card from your deck, put it at the bottom. Then take a peek at it because you're a ruler. This helps you siphon through this deck. It reminds me of Reflect Refrain, really. She really does. I mean, I just get the added perk of being able to look at my top card at any time. But I can take the top card and put it at the bottom. Yeah, it's not drawing the card like Reflect Refrain, but it's still cool. And then the great thing about this is it says you pay 2 to banish this card and go through your deck and take any card in your deck and put it on the top of your deck, then shuffle after you shuffle. If that made any sense, let me repeat that. You banish it, you go in your deck, you choose a card, put it to the side, shuffle, and you put that card on top. That's what this card allows you to do. And if you have Shion as your ruler, you only have to pay 1. You pay 1 less. 4. I need it to show up as much as possible. You need this card to show up as soon as possible in order for you to actually start getting your good plays. 2 Laevateins. Laevateinn is in for a few reasons. 1, for the obvious pump up boost for my Shion. 2, I use this in conjunction with my Cheshire Cat. If I get the draws on the Cheshire Cat and I have to put 1 back, and I know that I want to get something new on the top of my deck because I might be able to summon it, I'll sack it off with the Laevateinn, forcing it to go to the graveyard, forcing it to shuffle back into the deck. So that works great for that. And same thing with like the little dread thing, except for it's with Valentina. If you steal a creature and they manage to destroy your Valentina, I'll tap it to destroy their creature so they don't get it back. So either way, yeah, I lose Valentina, but you don't get your creature back. More than likely, it's probably a big hitter that you took. So Laevateinn will take care of that. That's why I run 2. And one Interdimensional Vessel Apollo. I run this mainly because I like the idea of my ruler having flying. It's pretty much it. I love flying. I love that this is another alternative to help me deal with pesky flyers in other decks, which seems to be the biggest weakness for most decks, or other decks, or just decks in general. So just being able to like pump her up with the Laevateins, and then get that damage in, and then just swing in flying, for some, for a hard hit for that last bit of damage, seems really good to me. I don't see any reason not to play it, and I mean, the only way I would take this out is if, like, I know my opponent has Arla and maybe running Bow, because the last thing you want to have is that out, and you just see a Bow show up. Like, that's just so devastating, and then you have no way like to get rid of it. Banish this card, return. Oh, well, you can do that, yeah. Banish this card, return target Resonator you control to its owner's hand. So, it does that too. But, you don't want to have this out and then it gets destroyed by Bow. That would suck. So that's that. So, that is the deck. Yes, it is. That is the deck. She looks really nice. I'm gonna keep her on this side. So yeah, Shion Symphony. That's what I'm naming the deck. I like the name. That's what I'm calling it. I didn't see any videos or any deck profiles out for it. This is just a home brew. I did this at home, and she's just sexiness. So I just really wanted to make a deck out of her. So, and there it is. So. That was a bit of a long video, but thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It's a nice little new map. Well, yeah, thanks you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time I do a video. All right, see you guys later.